Mud doesn't stop Grand National cross-country racers from putting on a show. At our last race, the X Factor Whitetails GNCC in Indiana, the conditions were sloppy, but the action was superb, with Walker Fowler making a last lap pass to take the win. The reward? More mud today.
Are you ready to go GNCC racing?
It's the Wiseco John Penton GNCC ATV coverage of round 6 of the Amsoil Grand National Cross Country Series presented by Specialized. Going to bring Adam McGill's machine on out. Everyone getting set for a venerable racetrack, one of the most long-running in this sport. But there's Walker Fowler, an Ohio native, and we are in Ohio, so he's certainly a favorite today, your defending series champ. You just saw Big Dave, our old bulldozer, out there cleaning up this muddy trail. And we'll show you the last muddy trail. There's our Amsoil race recap of the X Factor, round 5. Almost every time we come here to Indiana, we are greeted with rain. Walker Fowler out front early, so that makes life, it would appear, much easier on him. But even the champ would struggle on this slippery road. Chris Borich up in the number 2 spot. Bryson Neal in hot pursuit as well. Consider the conditions you're watching here, a preview of what's to come today. The number 1 goal you'll hear the riders talk about is keep the machine moving. Now, a few of the hillsides are actually fairly dry because the water runs down to the bottom. You can see them splashing through there. But it's as much about momentum and avoiding getting stuck for a long time as it is for going fast and trying to lead the race. Whoever makes the last mistake is going to be the one lamenting what could have been. So it's Bryson Neal that takes the lead at mid-race. He leads the 2nd and 3rd laps after Walker led the 1st. There's Fowler, not quite in hot pursuit, but close enough to take advantage if Neal has an error. And Neal was pushing awfully hard to take the victory. With Borich right there as well. And Cole Richardson here in the hunt also. Late in the race, though, Fowler is able to get the lead from Neal, Borich, and Richardson right there. But more often than not, the champion's able to figure out a way to make it happen down the stretch. And then congratulates Mom with a very muddy hug. Here's the winner.
That Yamaha out there today was just absolutely incredible. Got into the woods good, was feeling awesome, and I absolutely just clocked a tree. And my handlebars are at a 45 to the left to go straight. So I could go right, which was weird, really well, but I could not turn left. So is what it is, man. I made the best of it. Chris Borich kicked my butt last weekend with a bent-up bike, about the same exact thing, and that's what I told myself. I was like, you know what, if Chris can do it, I can do it. So, you know, we just put our head down, got the job done. Man, it feels so good, so good.
Rocky Mountain ATV MC results, Neal and Borich joining Fowler on the podium. McClure always comes on strong late, finished up in 4th ahead of Richardson. Here's your format for today's race, 2 hours, a little over 11-mile laps. See how many of those we get in, maybe 4 or even 5. That's the row 1 starting lineup, 15 machines. And the crowd is fired up. Rodney Tomlin, the GNCC live announcer, getting them revved. And now let's fire up the machines. Big battle here heading into the first turn. Fowler gets the lead and then overshoots the mark. We were on board there with Bryson Neal, but it looks like Devin Feehan's going to lead them into the 2nd turn, and we'll give him the Wiseco Hole Shot Award. There's Richardson almost running into the back of him. And I believe Neal into 3rd, and Fowler trying to make moves. That backfired. He'd actually gotten around Neal to take 3rd. Neal takes it back. And with the mistake here, there you can see both Fowler and Chris Borich not with the starts they want. Johnny Gallagher on the 12 trying to lead the field into the woods. Well, that didn't work out in his favor. Gallagher's pretty good in the mud, though. This will be a day he'd like to be able to move up. We're on board right now with Neal. You can already barely see anything with the riders being totally covered. Devin Feehan out of New York, best finish this year is an 8th. Hey, thanks for wiping the camera. Leading the way, let's go back to the XC2 John Glauda Jr., undefeated so far this season. He will be one to watch on the number 712, but it's actually the 714. Ronnie Rush gonna grab the whole shot there. So now I can make the joke that he was in a rush to get the good start. All balls, whole shot award money coming his way. And here's the traffic jam. Rush will lead XC2 into the woods. Oh, and a bunch of riders stuck there. Not actually because of the fence, just because the conditions are so slick. And XC2 is off and rolling. Devin Feehan continues to lead it. And XC1, there's some of the mud. And the problem here at the John Penton isn't that it rains, it's how this dirt reacts to it. If you had sandier soil, it wouldn't be so bad, but as I've said for years at this facility, somehow this mud is slippery on tires and sticky on plastic. So the machines are going to get absolutely covered. They're going to be extra heavy by the end of the day, but finding traction through sections like this is going to be very difficult. Well, they look clean off the start and taking advantage. Devin Feehan out front early here in Ohio.
GNCC on the NBC Sports Network is brought to you by Amsoil, the first in synthetics. Specialized Turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
New to the GNCC series this year, E-Assist mountain bikes. We call them EMTBs here. They have their own championship. There's Curtis Keene from California working his way up the hills. I'll tell you how this started. You cannot practice on the GNCC courses, but you can walk them or ride mountain bikes. And then when they allowed you to inspect the courses on the E-Assist mountain bikes, they became popular in a hurry. And then if you got enough people with bikes at the races, why not race them? And this is grueling, especially because it was hot out today, as evidenced by the fans jumping in the water. The man to beat at these races is Charlie Mullins, former GNCC champ on dirt bikes, now doing it on the bicycle. Here are your Specialized Turbo EMTB results. Mullins over Stevens, Keene, Buckley, and Nate Annan rounds out the top 5. There's Charlie, who's pretty much been unbeatable since we started this series. Bryson Neal looking to be unbeatable today. He's taking the lead in our ATV race. Cole Richardson second. That'll push Devin Feehan, your early race leader, back to third here at this Wiseco John Penton GNCC. John Penton, as Marty Christopherson comes through, we'll give the old tip of the visor to John. An absolute innovator and originator, the man who originally imported the KTM motorcycles to the United States and really changed the game in off-road racing. One of the cool things about this event, we've got the Sunday Creek motocross track integrated right in. You do have to prep it differently for a GNCC, so it is really hard packed so it doesn't get too rutted and rough, because you're going to have 2 straight hours of riders out there, and the riders doing the battling right now. This is great stuff. Richardson and Neal really duking it out. They have pulled away from the rest of the field. Now here they're going to go uphill and into the woods. Thanks to Neal with our helmet cam footage here to show you what it's like. Goes around those ruts. And pressure certainly being applied by Richardson, but right now Neal holding on. The size of those boulders, I don't remember seeing it look like that in previous years. Neal backed by Land Mills XC CST tires, Hauser Racing, and on board the Yamaha. And here comes the cavalry. Saw that big breakaway. And everybody else is in a freight train. Forget those boulders. Yeah, to go back down the center of the water. That's what we're used to seeing through that section. Now Richardson on the Ampro Yamaha into the lead. Woo! And lighting it up. Nice technique out of that corner. This is the opportunity. Bad starts for Fowler. Actually, good start and then early mistake sending him way back. Feehan fighting back, getting around Neal. So Neal obviously made an error. And whatever ground he gained to get the lead, he's giving it right back. This could be Richardson's chance. I believe 1 overall win in the career for Richardson. Good gap right now, though, to try to make it 2, but it is early. And in Ohio. And Neal back around Feehan. Awesome story with Richardson, one of the hottest prospects coming out of that Pro-Am class a couple of years ago. But as soon as he turned pro, he actually was dealing with, I believe, mono or an illness of some sort that essentially sapped all of his energy. And it has taken a long time. I didn't know if he'd get back to the kind of promise that he was expected to have in this pro class, but he has definitely done it and is running away with the race at least early. Wesley Wolf on the Suzuki, looking good today. And another Suzuki with Borich coming through. There's McClure, the old sneaky snake. He's good in these tough conditions. Hunter Hart, the rookie and last year's Pro-Am champ, learning all the time. Hunter says the goal for him is to just get to see these guys. He's been getting terrible starts this year, and that does not help. But the worst starts go to two of the favorites, McGill and Fowler, at the back of the group. It's going to be fun to watch them try to make their way toward the front. Grand National Cross Country, 20 years plus of history here at Millfield, Ohio, and this event named after the great John Penton, who was a real innovator on the equipment side in the early days of the sport.
We ran the mud any way we could, with any machine that we could get a hold of. And I got a hold of Husqvarnas, and before that I was riding BMWs and NSUs, and we'd convert to things. I even rode a BSA and converted it. It was a road job, and I converted it into a mud runner.
And then John eventually discovered the Austrian KTM motorcycle, they originally called them Pentons here in the United States. And that really changed the game to have a lightweight, off-road specialized bike. We do, of course, race two-wheelers here in GNCC, but also ATVs, and a great race right now. Cole Richardson, Bryson Neal, and this man, Devin Feehan, have put on quite a show, swapping positions. And the real question is, can anyone catch them? Now Walker Fowler has come a long way from about 9th to 4th, but a pretty big gap to make up. Certainly Fowler is capable of doing it, but Neal and the rest of the field going to do everything they can to stop it from happening. I don't know how Neal has done this. He's gone from 3rd to 1st, 3rd, and then back to 1st. Richardson trying to keep him honest. And I don't know how these two can even see right now. Lap traffic surrounding Feehan. He manages to, nope, he didn't get around it quickly enough. Fowler makes the move. So Fowler is beginning to stir. This will be interesting as he slices and dices through some of the lap riders in the amateur divisions to see if he can make a run at the lead duo. And what a race they are putting on. Neal and Richardson. Oh, they want this one so badly. Richardson now back to the lead. And it is just wide open right now. This trail is so slippery, but at least they have some rutted corners to bank off of. It's been fun to watch these two as Richardson continues to lead Neal, duke it out. The question is, are they pushing each other to go faster, which will prevent Fowler from catching them, or are they slowing each other up by trading in and out in all these corners and dealing with lap traffic? Richardson able to survive that, but not for long. Neal now back to the lead and trying to get away. Meanwhile, a new contender, Chris Borich, has taken 3rd away from Fowler, with the rookie Hunter Hart in 5th.
GNCC on the NBC Sports Network is brought to you by Amsoil, the first in synthetics. Specialized Turbo e-bikes. It's you, only faster. And by Rocky Mountain ATV MC. Get ready.
Stretch run, Grand National Cross Country action from Ohio. Watching ATVs. These two riders, Cole Richardson just came by in second, and here is your leader, Bryson Neal. They have gone at it all day long, both hungry to get a win. Today, your series points leader, Walker Fowler, he's not going to be able to catch him. It's down to these two. We're headed on to the famous Sunday Creek motocross track. And unbelievable the effort these two have put in. Extremely hot and humid today. We're 2 hours into the race. They probably got 100 pounds of mud packed on their machines and gear, and look at them just slam over these bumps on the motocross track. Richardson not giving up on it. Neal maintaining that small gap. Is there anything left in it? Can Richardson close it? About 3 turns away for the finish. Neal led the majority of our last race, but finished second, looking for his first win of the year. And he's got it. Last turn, checkered flag in sight. Richardson's close, not close enough. Bryson Neal has his first win of 2019. And yeah, those two have to be pumped. A great duel for 2 hours. Good sportsmanship here. Let's talk to our winner, Bryson Neal.
It's a heck of a day. Whenever we was watching the race, the morning unfold, I really didn't think it was going to end up being that bad. I thought it was going to tack up, and I thought we was going to see dust at the end of the race. But I tell you what, every lap it got worse and worse, and the rust was deep. And man, Cole was riding a heck of a race. Man, I've had a head cold the last 3 days. I didn't walk the track. I stayed in the camper the entire day today. Barely even went outside, and just to put in a good solid, get a good start, man. I think I was second going into the woods, second or third, and me and Cole and Devin, we got out front, and man, we just tried to hold it. And on the last lap, I had a line saved up that was a really good one, and man, we was just hold on to the end.
And it was hard to hold on because Cole Richardson was right there the whole way. Let's talk second.
I think the start was key. Walker had a really good start, but I think someone kind of came into him, pushed him wide. And, the track, there was a lot of lines, but not a lot of good ones. And, I tried to break away there early on, and I knew, Bryson, he wasn't going to be a person I can just, drop and lose. He was riding really well. I don't think we could have pushed the envelope anymore. I mean, this whole race, like I said, I tried getting away, and I didn't. And then he passed me. He tried getting away, and he didn't. And I was like, well, this is going to be a long day. The weather wasn't ideal for it. It might not be a good day. We didn't win, but second podium, anything on the podium, top 5 against all these riders is an awesome day, especially with the conditions and the heat, being able to get the bike to the finish. And, I'll take a second, but, it's fuel for the fire next race.
Well, not a win for Richardson, but you have to be proud anytime you can hold these two off. Walker Fowler and Chris Borich are having a dynamite battle, but today it's only for third. And they were as close, if not closer, than the lead duo was through this section. And Borich almost makes the move. This is classic Borich. He will just ride wherever you aren't to try to make the pass, especially on the last lap. We're onto the motocross track, and it is on. And Borich is proud, man. He's not pumped to see Fowler right out front of him here at the end. He wants this one bad. Would love to push Fowler off the podium. Look at Borich going for it in those rollers, almost doubling them. But with all the rain the track has taken on, there's really only one good dry line, and that's what's going to make it tough on Borich. He's going to try something different way up high. Fowler is perfect out of that corner. That might have been Borich's last chance. But he's not going to give up on it. Checkered flag in sight, and a hard-earned podium for Walker Fowler. Couldn't make up ground on the lead duo, and Borich pushed him to the max. Rocky Mountain ATV MC results: Hart top 5, Wolf, Merritt, Gallagher, Christopherson, Feehan rounded out. Here's Walker.
Just a bad day. It was weird. It was off. Hit the starter button, and man, them GBCs hooked up. I 12 o'clocked her on the starting line. I looked over. I still had the whole shot. I dumped the clutch again. 12 o'clocked it again, and I was like, son of a gun, this old girl's got some traction today. Going to the first corner, blow it. Going to the second corner, blow it. Going to the next corner, run up over someone's tire, end up backwards on the track. I hit Wesley Wolf going up into the woods and ended up about 7th or 8th sideways, stuck on the hill, and it was like, man, maybe calm down. Well, that didn't work because everyone hauled ass, and I had nothing for him there. Chris pitted the last lap, ended up kind of inheriting that position, and my not pitting on the second lap kind of gave me a bunch of spots. So I was running out of gas, but man, the old girl, we made it. So 3rd place, I'll take it. Considering we all kind of had our heads up our rear ends today, I'll take a 3rd.
Okay, that's one way of putting it. Here's the Amsoil race recap. Yeah, it looked like it was going to be a great start for Fowler, but watch him blow the first turn, and his adventure started there. Devin Feehan grabs the pole shot, but the real challenge is going to come from this man, Bryson Neal, and Cole Richardson. They were dogging Feehan early. Neal was able to get the lead. Feehan fought back. Then Neal got the lead again. And soon Richardson was up to the number 2 spot, and they went at it. Multiple passes between the two of them. In most forms of racing, when you have muddy conditions like this, it's a survival race, and riders or drivers are just trying to nurse their machine to the finish. Not GNCC, man. These guys went at it just like the track was dry. And by the way, it was hot and humid today. So there was every reason for them to throw in the towel. Through lap traffic, through the trees, through the woods, motocross track, they passed each other back and forth. And it helped because that pace allowed them to maintain a gap when Fowler and Borch tried to pour it on late from 3rd and 4th. There's the final margin of victory. Hard-fought win for Bryson Neal. They don't come easy, but that only makes them feel that much sweeter. As Richardson and Neal talked about their races together on the podium, we had a great battle for 3rd. Borch dogging Fowler all the way to the end. Almost had a shot at the pass here. Fowler just able to beat him to the spot. And then Borch all out on this motocross track, putting pressure on Fowler. Just couldn't find the opening. This is big because Borch, 2nd in points, wants to make up ground on Fowler. Just quite couldn't get it done today. Only way to clean off after a muddy race like this. Up on the podium, Devin Feehan gets his whole shot award. And a high five from Fowler. There's John Glauda winning again in XC2. Still perfect this season. But the man who was most perfect in XC1 today, your winner, Bryson Neal. For everyone at Racer TV, I'm Jason Wygant. Thanks for watching.